This is a video tour for 2121 Greenbrier Drive. So just a quick view of the neighborhood. It's pretty quiet, and you can see you've got some higher end homes on this block. But turning towards the house, you've got a pretty big retaining wall here, and some obvious settling that's happened around this gutter where it comes out. On the front, it's a bit confusing because there are two front doors here, and the right one goes into the house proper. The left one goes off to the deck, which is kind of interesting. You can see the siding here has definitely seen better days. It is soft in several places, and it seems that they've used maybe like a wood filler or kind of like a caulking to make it sealed, but of course it's just super soft in a lot of places. So siding is something that would have to be addressed with this property, I think, relatively quickly. Moving towards the front door of this house. So we're going to go in the front door here, which is on the right side. You come into a ceramic tiled entryway, which is a relatively large little entryway here, and you have access to the garage on the right hand side. You can see, let me get the light on here, okay, a pretty big crack. It's running through this garage door. And that is going to be a theme that we see throughout this house, is a lot of settling and cracking. There's some obvious water damage on the ceiling here in the garage as well. I don't know if that is an active leak or not. So then moving back into the house, on the right hand side, you've got a coat closet here when you walk in the front door. It's a pretty good sized coat closet. And then here's a view of the living room space from the front door. So you've got vaulted ceilings and a pretty open living room space. I want to say that as I'm walking around in here, it has a smoke smell to it. Cosmetically speaking, it is definitely in need of some repairs. Little bit of cracking here in the tile by the fireplace, again, due to settling. And the fireplace is pretty big. I mean, obviously the central point of this living room, and there's like a gap here at the back side of the fireplace, which is a bit strange. But moving back into the house, carpet has seen better days. You can see there's some big stain areas on the carpet. But, you know, the kitchen is just the old Formica countertop, very old oven situation here, and it is a vinyl sort of flooring that's very nicked and scraped up, and missing, of course, the refrigerator here. So you have a skylight here in the kitchen, and it is leaking, or has leaked. I don't know if you can really see this in the video, but on each corner here you can see drip marks. So there is some water that's been coming in on that skylight at some point. So then moving back into the living room space, I mean, as I'm panning, you can see just like the variation in the paint on the walls throughout the property. So to my right here is downstairs, and we will do that shortly, but we're going to finish the upstairs first. So beyond that, moving to my right, is your laundry room space, which does have a sink and space for a washer and dryer. Then back out into the hallway, the next door to my right, is just a little linen closet. And you have a whole house fan here in the hallway as well. So you can see just some little telltale cracks and places where they've caulked at the ceiling level, where I'm sure the wall was probably pulling away from the foundation a little bit, because you're about to see a really intense crack. So You can see that they fixed a crack above this door and it's re-cracked through. But here's where it gets really scary. So this is a transition area between like a landing hallway and a bedroom. And when I move this carpet back, you can see that this floor has huge cracks in it. And I mean, you can see pretty far down into the crack in between this space. And I would say that this flooring has displaced itself. And as I'm walking on it, there's probably like easily an inch drop between those cracks. So that is a really, really significant floor crack that's happening here. There's a really good view of it. Yeah. So very significant crack. And you can see that, I mean, this foundation is just kind of like cracking apart underneath that wall. So into this bedroom, we are going to pan this area. I mean, the thing I'll say about this house is there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space for the money. But those cracks are really intense and I would say quite costly. Again, another large crack around that door that they tried to patch and has bubbled back out. Okay, so moving back into this area, the carpet's been cut all around this area, and I think it's to provide access so you can see all of that. Okay, so here is the bathroom on this level. Carpet in the bathroom, and you've got the same Formica countertops in here, and it is a full bath tiled shower situation, and it creates access to this next bedroom here, which is again a pretty good size. It might be hard to tell, but this flooring sinks down to this corner. And when I'm walking on it, there's a very real incline there, but it's hard to get that to come across in a video. So again, in this room, you just have some more cracks up on the walls and pretty decent sized crack coming down the side of this wall as well. As far as the windows, you have the old crankshaft windows in this property. And you can see out the side here goes onto the little deck or the little patio area, which is where that second front door went to. So walking back out of this room, and I am going to turn to my right, and that's going to bring us into the master. So headed into the master here, and we will scan this room so you can get a feel for the size and shape of it. So again, pretty big room. I mean, you've got a little butt out here, which is a door to your own patio space. But back inside the room, you've got a closet that is pretty big. I mean, good sized closet because it extends a little bit this direction and a little bit this direction. And then you have a second smaller closet here. So again, with this floor, it's very obvious as I'm walking on it that it is sinking in this bottom corner here. Just by the way it feels as I'm walking on it. And then there's a pretty large crack right here in the middle of this wall. And that's a really odd location for a crack. I mean, it's just right in the middle of that wall and not really along like a sheetrock line or anything. So moving into the bathroom, you've got a double vanity carpet in this bathroom again. And just here in the corner by the mirror, you can see all that cracking on the side. But you have a huge soaker tub in this bathroom. And it's got its own little water closet as well, right here. And then the water closet's got a small shower. So coming back out, you can just see here where the walls have shifted enough and it's kind of moving away from the vanity. And again, they just use kind of like a heavy amount of caulking to seal the gap. Okay, so we're gonna go outside, out the back really quick so we can see all that. So the door sticks quite a bit there, and again, just some more cracking in the ceiling. And brings us out into the backyard. So they've built this deck, and I mean, the deck is holding up pretty well, it looks like, but I can see several places where it's just kind of sagging a little bit. And then the siding on the back of this house is pretty rough here at the bottom. I mean, that's all rotted there at the bottom level, which could be taken care of with like a beauty band. But then again, towards this upper part, you've got kind of waviness going on in the siding, and some caulking here, which again indicates more issues with water intrusion in the siding there. So 3D composition roof on this property. And coming around the right-hand side brings you around to the little patio that I was discussing. So that second door from the front of the house leads to this patio. But just on the outside of this, I want you to take a look at the foundation. You can see the cracking that's happened in this property. And just again, some pretty consistent siding rot issues that would have to be taken care of. Definitely some rot that's going on underneath that gutter there. Overall, the roof looks decent, especially with all these overhanging trees. Cute little patio area. But again, just some pretty intense settling that's happened here with the drain exiting that part of the property. You can see that they've tried to fill this big gap that's been created with like Quikrete and with some more like sort of resin caulking situation as well. So lots of siding issues with the rot and lots of settling foundation crack sort of issues. So in this backyard, we've got stairs that go down into this backyard space. And there are quite a few large mature trees in this backyard, which is kind of another issue because you've got roots that come out from all these trees that are sitting close to this foundation and might be part of the reason you've got so much cracking going on, but hard to say. So again, just evidence of the sidewalk pulling away here and them trying to fill it with like a caulk situation. Same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to pick this video back up in the basement.